Hello, and welcome to the Create Your Empowered Self podcast. This podcast is about understanding how applying spiritual processes and concepts can help you feel more inspired and creative. I'm Jeannie Hall, a multi-published author and self-love coach for writers. Let me show you how loving yourself will help you manifest more happiness and contentment now and throughout the rest of your life. Thanks for listening. Hello, and thank you so much for tuning in to the show today. I've decided to update my podcast a bit for the upcoming 2019 season. I was, as you know, if you've listened to my podcast, kind of recording on a more regular schedule, and it's been a couple months since I've been here recording, but lots of things have changed, and I just want my podcast to reflect that. I'm someone who believes in going with your gut and going with your intuition. And if it feels good, I feel like that is guidance showing me to do more of that. And if it feels heavy or yucky, I feel like that's also my guidance showing me not to do something. And for a while, this podcast was becoming a little bit of a burden, to be honest, just for full transparency's sake. I just want to share that with you guys. So because of that, I've decided going forward that I'm going to record when the moment strikes, whenever I feel compelled to share something, because I feel like if you're meant to find this podcast, if you're meant to be helped by it, you will find it. And that's why I'm recording it today. Now, all of these episodes going into 2019 will be directly related to helping who I help is clientele, which is writers and creatives who struggle with their writing. And so, in using the spiritual principles that I follow, I'm going to offer tools and techniques and strategies to increase your creativity. So if this is you, you've definitely come to the right place. Something else I want to share with you is that I have just recently become an online instructor. So if you're looking for a great deal on a course, check out udemy.com. I'm going to have a link in the show notes for you if you want to check out my new course as it becomes available. I'm very excited about it because I put several hours into this course and ended up with, I believe it's going to be right around 4 hours of video, as well as different exercises, some evaluations, and it's just chock full of things to help you if you're a writer looking for inspiration, looking for ways to be motivated to write. So if that kind of rings your bell a little bit, I hope you check that out, and I hope you find it very useful. Udemy is a great site because much of the time their courses are on sale, and I'm definitely participating in that. So you'll be able to get that course for a lot cheaper than it actually retails for. So check that out, and it's very affordable over there. When their courses are on sale, which is almost always, they run between like $9.99 and like $29.99. So very affordable, especially for what you're getting. To create this course, I use the input of several authors and writers that I'm connected with in a professional level, and some are aspiring, some are multi-published, some are best-selling authors, so lots of great input from different sorts of writers. So again, this should be a pretty comprehensive course. It's called Comprehensive Strategies to Inspire Your Writing Muse. And if you can't remember that long-ass name, that's fine, because I will have a link in the show notes for you to go straight to it. So I hope if this resonates with you that you hop on over there and check out my course and give it a review. Hopefully you'll enjoy it and it'll prove helpful to you. Today I'll be discussing the 12 universal laws and how those laws can increase your creativity. So if you're listening to this, you're probably a writer or someone who considers himself to be creative or creatively minded. And what I like to do is apply spiritual principles to help you feel more inspired and to help you feel greater levels of self-love for yourself. Because if you're able to love yourself, then you will automatically reap the benefits that you're hoping to reap. If you're trying to manifest things via the law of attraction, if you're trying to just live a happier or more peaceful life, then this show should help you. And so I'm going to start with the first law in the universal laws, which is the law of divine oneness. Now, this is the first of the 12 laws, and it helps us to understand that we live in a world where everyone and everything is connected to everyone and everything else. Oneness is the concept that there is no separation between any of us or our source, God, the universe, whatever term you like to use. This is why everything that we do in this world connects with others. This is why it's like ripples in the pond. And this is how our beliefs connect us to each other, the way we think and feel connect us to each other, because we all have thoughts, we all have feelings, we all take action, and we all see results. And whether or not they're the results we want to have is based on what those thoughts, feelings, and actions are. So it's important to realize where you are and how what you think and feel and what you do affects the oneness, the divine oneness that we all share with one another. The second law is the law of vibration. And if you're a fan of Abraham Hicks like I am, then you know that we live in a vibrational universe. We also live in a physical universe, the one that we can see and hear and taste and touch and feel. It states that everything in the universe moves or vibrates or travels in patterns, often in circular patterns. And these patterns of vibration apply to our thoughts, feelings, and desires. And each sound and each thing and even each thought has its own vibrational frequency. And this is again how, if you're wanting to manifest better things in your life, if you're wanting to manifest greater health, like a healthy weight, if you're trying to manifest money, if you're trying to manifest someone that you love, have a lover in your life, a husband, wife, girlfriend, boyfriend, if you're trying to manifest a family, you're wanting children, if you're trying to manifest a career or books as a writer or great success, whether you're trying to manifest a successful business, successful career, successful job, connections, whatever it is, or whether it's a material thing like a home or a car, all those are also vibrational before they come into the physical universe. So this is where the law of vibration really comes into effect. If you understand that your desire for it creates it automatically in the universe on a vibrational level, then you can understand how, if you are effective in keeping your vibration very pure and you keep your thoughts positive, that you can then manifest that into the physical realm as well. The law of action is the third law, and this law must be applied in order for us to manifest things, to be able to see them with our eyes. So we can hear about, oh, it's already there in the vibrational part of the universe. It's already there waiting for you. Most of us, though, are not happy with that until it actually manifests into the physical realm where we can see it, taste it, touch it, hear it, smell it, all of it. And in order for that to happen, there are things that we have to physically do to help bring that into the world, to help it manifest. And we tend, of course, as humans, to be very action-oriented. We sometimes, that's our folly. Sometimes we end up trying to make things and force things to be, make them happen. And it causes a great deal of suffering sometimes because we think we can force something into existence when we can't. And it's also a very important part of the universal laws is to understand that there are times to take action, but that action needs to be inspired action. It needs to be connected with your inner being, the inner self, your spirit, your soul, needs to resonate with that action you're about to take. And if not, it won't feel good. If you're trying to force things to happen, it won't feel like a good action. It'll feel like effort. It'll feel like force and hard work and difficulty and putting your head through the wall and that kind of thing. If you are doing inspired action, though, it will be easy. It'll feel effortless. It'll feel like something you can do all day. So it's important to keep that law of action in mind, and remember that it's inspired action that will bring your manifestations to reality much more quickly and much more easily. You don't have to suffer to bring those manifestations to the fore. The fourth universal law is the law of correspondence. And this law states that the principles or the laws of physics that explain the physical world, which are things like energy, light, vibration, and motion, they also have a corresponding principle in the vibrational universe that we can't see. And that's where, if you've watched Rhonda Byrne's The Secret, that's where you'll see things mentioned like as above, so below. So what is inside is also outside. It means we cannot manifest something into the physical until it's there vibrationally. So until you know what you want, in other words, until you know exactly what it is that you want, you can't manifest it. And so we may be saying, I need money, I need money, I need money. And until we actually understand the reasons behind the why of it, until we're very clear, if we want to be happy, if we don't know how to be happy and why we want to be happy, we need to know the reasons behind it so that our minds and our egos are working in correspondence with our vibrations and with our spiritual beings as well. The fifth law is the law of cause and effect, and we see this all the time. It basically states that nothing happens by chance. There are no coincidences, and that's why every action has an equal action or reaction, and it's a consequence that we're going to then see. If we plant a field of flowers in the spring, later on in the season, we're going to see those flowers bloom. And they're going to come up and show their beauty. It is that we reap what we sow. Whatever it is that you're planting will come up for you. The important thing to remember, it's great to plant flowers, right? Literally, but what if you're planting anger? What if you're planting resentment? What if you're planting distrust? Whatever you're reaping is what you've already sown. It's so important that whatever it is you're planting, be aware that it's going to bloom. That is the law of cause and effect. The sixth law is the law of compensation. And this is basically applying the law of cause and effect to blessings and abundance that are provided for us. So if we share a lot and we give a lot and we honor those gifts and we're appreciative of money and abundance, of friendship, of blessings, of relationships, of love, and we share that freely, we spread that around openly and happily and are freely givers, then that will bring more of that to us. So the more you give, the more you receive. That's absolutely true. And oftentimes you'll receive even more because you gave so freely. As long as you give with an open heart and with love and not with the expectation that I'm going to get this back, right? You want to give just because you can, just because it feels good to give. It feels good to help. If you're giving to charities, for example, it feels really good to know that your money's going to a really good cause and to a really good place and to help others. So that is the law of compensation. The seventh law is one I've already mentioned. It's the law of attraction, which of course I've spoken on before and written books on as well. This law, of course, demonstrates how things come into our physical lives. So they start out vibrationally. They start out with what Abraham Hicks calls a rocket of desire. We have A want, because we have preferences. We see life experience shows us what we like and what we don't like, what we prefer and what we don't prefer, what we want and what we don't want. And as we figure out what we like and what we want, that automatically ask from the universe, please give me this. I don't like being sick. I want to be well. I don't like not having money. Please send me money. I don't like feeling like I'm not abundant. Please send me abundance and prosperity. I don't like this job. Please give me another one. Or please give me a business that's successful. Or please give me another opportunity. All those things come about from the law of attraction. And then vibrationally, those come into being immediately. Those are already honored and offered to us by source energy, by God and the universe. And then we have to make sure that what we are sending out is positive energy. This is a very neutral law. If you're wishing and wishing and wishing for that lover to come into your life, that you want your soulmate to come into your physical reality and be with you, but all you're sending out is, I'm so sad, I'm so lonely, I'm so sad, I'm so lonely, I'm so sad, I'm so lonely, where's my lover, where's my person, where's my husband, where's my wife, where's my boyfriend, where's my girlfriend, where are they? If you're doing that and all you're sending out is lack, I don't have this, I don't have this, I want this and I don't have it, then the law of attraction is automatically going to send you more of the same. It sends out what you send out. So that's where it's very important to make sure that you're not sending out, where are they? Where are they? I'm lonely. I want you here. Where are you? It's so important that you are saying, I'm looking so forward to finding that love of my life, that perfect person for me, that person that I will get to enjoy my life with so much. And when you do that, it's a totally different vibration that you're sending out, that the law of attraction will then bring you. And it happens in the little parts of life. If you start your morning irritated and in a bad mood and you have a headache and you're thinking about that headache and you're grumpy about it, and then you get stuck in traffic and then someone almost rear ends you and then someone almost pulls into your side, and it's just one thing after another, and then the day goes badly from one thing to the next thing, and you just get more and more irritated, more and more frustrated, more and more angry as the day goes on. Realize that is the law of attraction at work. That is the universe responding to the vibration that you are sending out. So if you do wake up with the headache, do something about it. Do whatever you can to relieve it in a good way. Or try not to think about it. Try and think of things that make you happy. If you wake up with a headache, and especially if it's minor and not a migraine or something, and you can then focus on other things that make you happy. Happy memories, listening to music that makes you happy. Maybe you can take something for it to get rid of it. Maybe you can put a cold or warm compress on your head and get rid of it. Maybe you can do some relaxation or some yoga and feel better. Then suddenly when it's gone and all you're doing is focusing on things that you're thankful for and things that you like and love, then it's amazing how the little irritations in life will dissipate and even go away. So that is the law of attraction. The eighth law in the universal laws is called the law of perpetual transmutation of energy, which is a mouthful. But it basically states that all people have within them the power to change their lives and the conditions of their lives. It means that the power of high vibration thoughts are so much more powerful than negative thoughts are. All you have to do is focus just a little bit and get it to be just a little bit more positive, and you can start seeing the benefits of that. You can start reaping the rewards of that more positive mindset, because the next day, if you're not gripey and worried about traffic and rah, 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 and then you get into your car, you're most likely going to have a much easier, more flowing way to work that day. It's amazing how those things work. But that is the law of perpetual transmutation of energy, and that is part of how you will know that you are a powerful being, is that you control that for yourself. A lot of the time we think life happens to us, and the truth of the matter is we actually create it moment to moment. There's some things that we may be reaping what we've sown in the earlier parts of our lives and how we've been thinking up till now. So there may be, of course, contrast and some negativity that comes from that. If we've been very negative our whole lives and we're just now changing, we may not see that change happen quite as quickly. And we'll see contrast no matter what in our lives. We'll see things that we like and things that we don't, and we'll have our preferences as we go along. But you'll see a lot less negativity if you start to really focus, because you really are that powerful of a being. The 9th law is the law of relativity. And of course, if you have heard of Einstein, then you've heard of relativity before. And this law states that each person will receive a series of problems for the purpose of strengthening your light within. And these tests are not here to punish you. These tests are basically just to be a challenge and to help us connect more with each other and to be problem solvers. It's also about comparing our problems to others and seeing our problems in the proper perspective. You've probably heard other people say, "Oh man, I just ran out of peanut butter." First world problems, right? They'll talk about, it's like, "Oh man, it's so annoying. I have a flat tire." But you know what? You have a car. There's people who don't even have a house, and you have a car plus a house plus. So it again puts things in perspective. There's always someone worse off than you. There's always a bigger problem out there than yours. It's important to remember that and keep that in perspective. It might help you to feel better if you remember, look, there are always bigger problems out there. So don't get so upset with your own problems that you lose perspective, and be thankful for what you have. The 10th law is the law of polarity, and I actually did a podcast on this particular law before. It basically just states that there's a positive and negative to everything. So everything's on a continuum. Everything has its opposite. Abraham Hicks calls this the two sides of the same stick. And so on like the health stick, there's on one end of the stick is wellness and complete health. On the other end of the stick is horrible disease. It's the same stick. It's important to remember that there's always an opposite of everything. That is how we know what good is because there's bad. That's how we know what light is because there's darkness. And yet, good totally obliterates bad. Light totally obliterates darkness. It's important to remember that this affects the vibrational universe that we know. And if we know that as we go in and we realize that part of living this human existence is that we will experience polarity, we will experience opposites affecting us of contrast, just so we're able to see the perspective. Because if it was all happy, joy all the time, we probably wouldn't realize that we were as happy as we were. The 11th law is the law of rhythm. And this law talks about everything vibrates in certain rhythms, certain ups, certain downs, certain seasons, certain cycles, stages of development, and patterns. And this is just the regularity of God's universe. It's kind of like standing on the ocean shore and you watch the waves go in and out, how they ebb and flow. That is the rhythm of the universe. The rhythm of music follows the same principles. If you are a spiritual master, that means you know you can rise above any negative that may come to you because positive is going to follow. It's a universal law. It is a truth. And that can be a great comfort, especially if you're going through a difficult time. The last law of the 12 universal laws is called the law of gender. So what it's talking about is everything and everyone has both masculine and feminine characteristics and principles, and this is throughout every part of creation. In the Eastern philosophies, it's also called yin and yang. You've probably seen that symbol. We all need to have a balance of these energies within ourselves, and it really has less to do with our gender, our actual gender, or our actual physical, what we are physically, and more about the balance that we have spiritually. Certain energies are considered more feminine, certain energies are considered more masculine, but we all have both, every single one of us. And it's a balance of both of those and keeping in alignment. There are strengths in both of those energies. So that is the summation of the 12 universal laws in spirituality. I hope you found them interesting. And keep in mind that as you create, and especially for my writers who are listening out there, each one of those laws can help to inspire you, help you keep perspective. Just keep in mind all these things that are automatic laws. These are the same kind of neutral energies as the law of gravity is. And sometimes it's just very helpful just to know what they are and realize that that may be what is taking action in your life right now. Sometimes when we are going through a tough time in our life, it helps when we can become a little bit more separate from the feelings that tough time is evoking within us. Sometimes we can take a step back and look at it and say, oh, okay, well, this is the law of transmutation. This is the law of gender. This is the law of attraction happening. That's what's happening. This is the polarity law. This is all about relativity and cause and effect. And that's all the different laws happening. And they do coincide with each other. So it's very comforting, especially like the law of rhythm, where if you're kind of in a downturn in your life right now, to know that the next good part is on its way, and knowing that if you've been uninspired, unable to write or create, you've been struggling with some part of your career or your inspiration, that is temporary. That will turn around, and all you have to do is focus on a more positive side of things to see that happen in your life, to bring that from the vibrational universe into the physical. So I hope you have found this podcast helpful. If you would like to join my Facebook group, I will put a link to that in the description. It's called Empowerment for Writers and Creatives. I offer lots of fun things within that group, videos and challenges and just inspirational type posts and support. I encourage everyone to be involved on that. I do a lot of live videos and share those as well. So I hope you find that interesting. So if you're struggling to write, if you're struggling to be creative and inspired, even though that's what you want to be most of all, then this group would be wonderful for you. Or if you're having a more specific problem, if you've been experiencing writer's block for a prolonged amount of time and you feel like you almost need to give up on your writing at this point or your creative pursuits, then definitely schedule a call with me. I am looking for people who are going to be committed to this, to be willing to invest in some time in themselves and being willing to move forward and really make a change. I want 2019 to be your best year, and to that end, that's what I'm helping my clients to do. I do help you get through your writer's block and find more inspiration and creativity, and I have lots of ways to help you do that. I appreciate you listening to this podcast. If you like it, please share it, and I will talk to you again next time. Bye-bye. Are you looking to feel more inspired and creative? Join my free Facebook group, Empowerment for Writers and Creatives. Are you a writer who's been struggling with straight-up writer's block? If you're ready to stop struggling and start thriving, schedule some one-on-one time with me. This is for serious candidates only, but if you're ready to commit to investing in yourself, sign up for a call. Links are in the description. Let's make 2019 the year of your success.